and I am the owner and creator of the Donut Cart. I've been living in Kalamazoo for almost 5 years. I grew up in Mendon, so just a little bit south of here. And this is my first season with the Donut Cart. So I'll just jump in. The idea came to me in 2018. I was working full time. I was going to school full time, and I'm also a single mom of 2, so just a ton going on. And I was up to my final project at school, and my final project was to build a business plan and present it to a panel. And I was so stressed out that I was just trying to think of the funnest thing I could possibly do, like that would be fun to work on instead of add more stress to my life. And I kept remembering this at Christmas. Growing up, my dad had this big industrial donut machine, and all of our friends would come over, we would make donuts, and then we'd go caroling and hand the donuts out to the community. And so that's sort of how it all came together, like, man, that was so much fun, and I want this to be fun. And then food trucks are obviously a big thing right now. So this all just started as a school project, and when I presented it, the panel was like, how long until this is up and running? And I was like, oh no, I'm not doing this. I'm just doing it for a grade. And then it just sort of kept sneaking back up and sneaking back up. You can go to the next slide. So when COVID hit was really the start of working really hard on it, because I was one of those ones that really excelled during quarantine. I have, like I said, 2 children that are just like the coolest people to spend time with. They're just the best thing in the world. And of course, during quarantine, we got to spend all of our time together. And then when it was time to go back to an office setting, it was like, whoa, I don't want to lose this time and flexibility. And so that's when I really started working on this concept. I quit my job, I became a realtor, so I'm a realtor now, and started working on this so that I can have a flexible life with my children. So in April of 2022 is when the cart itself was complete. If you saw the first picture, it's a refurbished pop-up camper. So that was completed in April of 2022, and then in June of 2022 is when I finally got all of my licensing through the city and the fire department and the health inspection, and became fully functional. You can go to the next slide. So there's 3 ways to use this. The first one is just your basic, like how you would think of a food truck, lunchtime live at the park, and farmers markets and things like that are just multiple food trucks there. The second one is to rent for private events. I just did one of these this weekend at a trunk or treat. A church just rented it, and then I gave the donuts out free to their attendees. So that's how that works. That works for birthday parties, open houses, weddings, if that ever comes up. Church functions. And then the third one is really actually my passion in all of this, which is fundraising, which I've been doing a lot of. So I went to Loy Norrick's high school. I was at Plainwell Elementary School this past week, and I just set up at the time that they tell me to, and I give 30% back to yeah, so my goal is so we sell mini cinnamon sugar donuts, and that's it, just one thing, mini cinnamon sugar donuts, and my goal is to keep my overhead as low as possible so that I can give back as much as possible, because that's my joy and my heartbeat. And if you can see in these pictures, those are my children. It's the 3 of us doing it. It takes all 3 of us to run it. My son is very introverted, so he does the cinnamon sugar and doesn't have to talk to anyone. My daughter is out there like, you want to buy some donuts? And so you can go to the next one. The goals, so like I said, this is my first year, and it was really just a season of working out kinks, and there's been a lot of kinks because that's what happens when you start something new. My goal is to consistently set up 3 times a week, and always one of those being a fundraiser if I can do it, at least one of them. I am building a website. I went to the SCORE website building class, and I'm working on that so that people can book directly through the site. I think that'll be a lot easier. Right now they're finding me through social media, which is great, but working on a website. My generator, like he said, it just all out died yesterday, so it's been a rough one, but it is also pretty loud. The machine takes 220 voltage, and if you know anything about electricity, that's a lot of electricity, and so it takes a big generator. So one of my goals is to get a quieter generator, but that's also very expensive. So working on that. And then as you can see, this is my donut cart and my children, but right now there's no signs. I'd like to get it wrapped. with my marketing and get more signage up so that when I'm driving down the road, people will, be able to book me or look it up or whatever. So those are my goals. So that's it. Questions?